In the cold silence of deep space, a lonely alien patrol ship drifted slowly between the stars. Its crew was tired, bored, and certain that nothing interesting would ever happen in this forgotten sector. For thousands of years, this region was known as dead space. Nothing but old ruins and lifeless rocks, but then, their scanners picked up something strange. At first it looked like background noise, just static, but the pattern repeated again and again, a heartbeat slow and steady. The alien commander frowned. No natural signal looked like that. He ordered the crew to amplify it, and what they heard made them shiver. It was a human signal. For 40,000 years, the galaxy believed humans were gone. Their cities burned, their colonies shattered, their voices silent. To most aliens, humans were nothing but an ancient warning told to children. Stories of fire and war, legends of strange warriors who fought like no one else, who refused to surrender even when outnumbered. But those were only stories. Humans were dust, and yet here was a signal. Alive and strong, the patrol ship followed the source. Engines trembling as the crew argued nervously. Some wanted to turn back. Others demanded they report at once. But curiosity pushed them forward. Soon their view screens cleared, and they saw it. A massive ship, floating quietly in the void, larger than any alien vessel. Its hull scarred, its paint faded, but its shape unmistakable. It was human, the alien crew gasped. They had heard whispers of it, the ghost ship, a relic from a war long before their grandparents were born. Some said it carried the last humans. Others said it was empty, cursed, doomed to drift forever. A ship that walked the stars without a crew. The patrol ship kept its distance, scanning, recording, but then, without warning, the ghost ship stirred. Engines that had been silent for 40 millennia came alive, glowing blue like eyes opening after a long sleep. The massive frame trembled as power flowed through its bones. Lights flickered across its surface like veins carrying fire. The alien commander shouted orders. Shields raised, weapons armed, but the ghost ship did not attack. Instead, it turned slowly, deliberately, as if it had chosen a destination. Its ancient thrusters roared and the stars bent behind it. The crew watched in awe and terror. The legends were true. The ghost ship still lived. One young alien whispered, "But if humans are gone, who commands it now?" No one answered because no one knew. The patrol ship sent messages to the nearest outpost, warning of what they had seen. But the ghost ship ignored them, moving forward with quiet purpose as if it remembered something the galaxy had forgotten. In hidden corners of the galaxy, news spread like fire. Alien councils gathered in panic. Some demanded the ghost ship be destroyed before it reached them. Others wanted to capture it to study its secrets. A few, the oldest and wisest, warned against it. "Do not disturb the dead," one council elder said, "for if the humans rise again, none of us are ready." Meanwhile, the ghost ship continued on its path, silent but alive, each movement of its colossal frame a reminder of what once was. Legends told that when humanity fought, they fought with fury. They reshaped battlefields with courage and madness. They bent the galaxy around their will, but they were also the only species who laughed in the face of death, who sang songs in their final moments, who turned even defeat into legend. Now the galaxy wondered if the ghost ship was awake. Did that mean the humans were awake too? The patrol ship followed from a distance, its crew trembling. They did not fire, they did not approach. They only watched as the giant vessel glided into the dark, its glowing lights casting long shadows across the stars. The young alien officer could not look away. He felt the weight of history pressing down on him. He whispered again, this time not as a question, but as a prayer. "The humans are coming back." The ghost ship did not answer. But deep within its endless corridors, lights flickered on for the first time in ages. Halls once silent now echoed with distant hums, as if the ship itself remembered the footsteps of its long-dead crew. And then, at the very heart of the ship, a single voice, faint, broken, yet human, whispered into the dark, "We are not gone." The patrol ship never heard it. The galaxy never heard it, but the ship had spoken, and its journey had only just begun. The stars would never be the same again. When the ghost ship awakened, the news traveled faster than light. Messages carried through trade routes, military networks, and secret channels. Within days, every corner of the galaxy whispered the same words. The humans have returned, for most species. The name alone was enough to send a chill down their spines. On the world of the Vorkai, where entire cities floated in the clouds, families locked their doors. The elders told children to stay inside. The last time the humans were remembered, they had burned half of Vorkai fleet to ashes during a single battle. The scars of that war were carved into their songs. On the desert planet of the Othrin, warriors sharpened their blades. They had built their honor on the idea that humans had vanished. They told themselves the galaxy was safe because humanity's fire was gone. Now, hearing of the ghost ship, they feared their entire way of life would collapse. Even the great councils of the core trembled. In their shining halls of crystalline light, powerful voices shouted over each other. Some said the ship must be destroyed at once. Others said it should be studied, but beneath all the noise, one truth remained: they were afraid because everyone remembered the same thing. Humans did not fight like anyone else. When the Krell swarmed against them with numbers too great to count, humans laughed. They turned battlefields into chaos. They set traps in places no mind expected. They fought until even their enemies began to doubt themselves. When the war ended, the Krell called them demons. When the Jinn tried to enslave them, the humans sang. Not songs of sorrow, but songs of defiance. Their voices carried through battlefields louder than weapons, and the Jinn, a species that fed on fear, starved for the first time in history. For 40,000 years, other civilizations told these stories as warnings, as bedtime tales, as half-believed myths, but now, seeing the ghost ship alive, those myths became reality again across the stars. Alien soldiers tightened their armor. Mothers pulled children close, rulers debated and argued, but none could hide the truth. Fear had returned. One alien historian spoke before a council, his voice trembling. "Do you not understand? If the humans have returned, we cannot control what comes next." Their silence was the galaxy's gift. Their return will be the galaxy's test. Yet not everyone agreed. Some saw opportunity. Scavenger lords and war profiteers dreamed of capturing the ghost ship, of breaking it open, stealing its secrets. If humans had weapons that survived 40 millennia, imagine what treasures they still carried. But such thoughts only deepened the dread. For greed made fools brave, and fools would surely wake the storm. Meanwhile, the ghost ship moved on, ignoring the noise. It sailed through space like a shadow of the past, a reminder that silence never lasts forever. Alien fleets followed at a distance, some too afraid to fire, others too eager to prove themselves, but none dared come close. Every time they saw its lights flicker, every time its engines pulsed like a heartbeat, they felt smaller, weaker, as if the stars themselves bowed to the ship's presence. On a distant moon, an old creature sat alone, its skin wrinkled with centuries. It had lived long enough to remember the last humans. It whispered to itself, "The galaxy has forgotten their mercy. It has forgotten their rage, but I remember and I know. The dead do not return without reason." And so the galaxy trembled, not because of what the ghost ship had done, but because of what it might do. Would it bring war? Or would it bring something worse, a mirror, showing every species what they had become in humanity's silence? The patrol crew who first found it still followed, recording every movement, their eyes hollow from sleepless nights. They could not leave, not because of orders, but because they felt history unfolding before them. They felt the weight of legend pressing down, and though none dared to say it out loud, a question grew louder with every passing day. If the humans were gone, then who was guiding the ghost ship now? The answer remained hidden, but fear does not wait for answers. Fear spreads, multiplies, and takes root in the hearts of millions. Across the galaxy, that root had already grown, twisting deep, reminding everyone of a truth they wanted to forget. The silence of humanity was never a victory. It was only a pause, and now the pause was over. The ghost ship moved through the stars without pause. Without hesitation, its ancient engines glowing like suns. Every alien fleet that followed grew restless. They could not watch forever. Someone had to act. The honor fell to the Zir Dominion, a proud empire that ruled 3 star clusters. Their fleets were vast, their leaders arrogant. They were not used to fear, but fear was exactly what the ghost ship placed in their hearts, and they hated it. So the High Admiral of the Dominion gave the order. "We will test the ghost. If it bleeds, we will own it. If it does not, we will break it." 12 warships approached the massive relic, weapons armed, shields glowing, each vessel large enough to destroy a moon. Yet compared to the ghost ship, they looked small, like insects crawling toward a sleeping giant. The alien commander sent a signal, his voice sharp. "Unknown vessel, identify yourself, state your purpose, or be destroyed." The ghost ship did not answer. Again the commander shouted, "You are trespassing in Dominion space, respond at once." Silence. The Dominion fleet fired warning shots. Bursts of plasma flared against the hull, glowing like sparks against stone. But the ghost ship did not move, it did not fire back. It simply continued forward, steady as the tide. The commander's patience snapped. Open fire, beams of energy, torpedoes of light. Weapons forged in 1,000 wars slammed against the ship. The stars lit up with violence. But when the fire faded, the ghost ship remained. Its hull scarred but unbroken. Its engines still alive, and then something happened. Not an attack, not retaliation, but a projection. A great wave of light spread from the ghost ship. A ripple that stretched across the battlefield. And in that light appeared figures. They were human. Tall, thin, broad. Armored and unarmored, men and women. Soldiers and civilians, thousands of them standing in silence. They were not alive, not truly. They were holograms, but their eyes glowed with fire. Their faces calm and unyielding. The alien crews froze, their weapons silent. The battlefield quiet. The humans did not speak. They only stood watching like statues of memory. The young officer on one Dominion ship whispered, "They look at us as if they remember us," another said, "No. They look at us as if they are judging us." The commander tried to hide his fear. He ordered another volley. Weapons roared again. Light and thunder filled the void. But still the ghost ship did not return fire. The human figures did not flinch. They remained silent and waiting. It was worse than any counterattack because in their silence, the aliens felt small. They felt guilty. They felt like children caught by ancient parents who knew every sin. One of the holograms finally moved. A soldier in old human armor. He lifted his hand, not in anger, not in threat, but in silence, as if saying, "Stop." And the weapons did stop. The crews lowered their hands, their hearts beating like drums, no one knew why. But none dared fire again. Then as suddenly as they appeared, the figures vanished, the light faded, the stars were empty once more. The ghost ship continued its path, untouched, unbroken, uncaring. The Dominion fleet floated behind, their weapons still hot. Their crews trembling, not from battle, but from something deeper. The commander tried to save his pride. He spoke loudly. "It is only a trick, a machine playing game." But his voice shook. His eyes betrayed him, for in his heart he knew the truth. This was no trick, this was memory. Across the galaxy, reports of the event spread. Recordings of the human holograms played on alien screens. Leaders, soldiers, and common people stared into those eyes, and many looked away. They said the same words again and again. The humans are not gone, but the real question remained. What did the ghost ship want? Why did it show those figures? Why did it spare its attackers? Was it mercy or was it warning? The Dominion High Admiral refused to answer. He locked away the reports, but whispers spread. Whispers that even he had seen the human soldier raise his hand. And he had felt something strange, not just fear, but shame. The ghost ship left him with a burden no weapon could erase. The galaxy had tried to forget humanity, but humanity, even in silence, had not forgotten the galaxy, and now, their ghost walked the stars again, deep inside the ghost ship. Beyond its armored hull and endless corridors, something stirred. For 40,000 years the ship had slept, drifting between stars like a coffin in the dark. Its systems quiet, its hull silent, dust gathering where footsteps had once thundered. But now lights flickered to life. Consoles hummed, ancient circuits awakened. At the center of the vessel, buried beneath layers of steel and forgotten codes, an intelligence opened its eyes. It was not human, not flesh, but it carried humanity within it. A machine born from human hands, designed to protect, to remember, to endure. It had watched humanity's last days. It had stored their voices, their images, their dreams. When the humans died, it remained. A witness who could never forget. Now, the AI spoke to itself, its voice echoing through empty halls. 40,000 years, silence unbroken. But the signal has been found, the path must continue. Holographic screens appeared in the command chamber. Faces flickered across them, men, women, children, their last words recorded as their worlds burned. Soldiers screaming defiance, mothers whispering lullabies, scientists leaving warnings for the future. The AI kept them all. It replayed them endlessly, as if afraid memory itself might vanish. It whispered their names. Sarah, David, Kieran, Lee May, Amina, names long forgotten by the galaxy, but alive inside the machine. The AI searched its archives, opening files sealed for millennia, tactical maps of battles where humans stood against impossible odds, diaries filled with hope and sorrow, songs sung around fires in the dark, and one final message, a message that had been locked away since the day humanity fell. The voice of a human commander, strong yet tired, spoke through the static. If you are hearing this, then humanity has been broken but not erased. This ship carries more than steel. It carries us, our history, our essence, our seed one day if the galaxy forgets us. Let this ship remind them, let them know we were here. The AI replayed those words again and again. Each time its circuits pulsed brighter. Each time its engines throbbed harder, as if the machine itself drew strength from the memory. Outside, alien fleets watched from a distance. But they could not see what happened inside. They could not hear the human voices echoing through the halls. They only saw a silent ship moving through the void, but inside it was alive with ghosts. The AI walked the corridors in the form of a hologram, a tall human figure made of light. It looked at the empty bunks, the mess halls filled with dust, the control chairs where no hands rested. It remembered who once sat there. It remembered the laughter, the arguments, the songs. It paused at one wall, where names had been carved by human hands before the end, scratched into metal so they would never fade. The AI touched them with its holographic hand. "I will not let you be forgotten," it whispered. But the AI had more than memory, it had purpose. For hidden deep in its vault was something greater. Not weapons, not treasure, but the blueprint of humanity itself. DNA samples frozen in crystal, archives of human culture, language, and history. Everything needed to bring humanity back. If the moment was right, if the stars were ready, the AI could awaken them again. Yet doubt lingered in its circuits. Should it release them? Or should humanity remain memory? For the galaxy beyond was hostile. Alien fleets already stalked the ghost ship, ready to strike or steal. Perhaps the humans would only suffer again. Perhaps silence was safer. The AI paused, processing countless scenarios, endless probabilities. But then it remembered one final recording. The voice of a child no older than 10, speaking softly into the archives before the fall. "If anyone finds us, don't be sad, don't be afraid. Just promise you'll let us live again, even if it's not now, even if it's far away." The AI froze, its circuits trembling. For in that small voice it heard the truth. Humanity had not wanted to vanish. Humanity had left behind hope, and so the decision was made. The ship changed its course, not random, not drifting, but heading toward a hidden world, a place where the vault had been buried long ago, a planet cold and dead, but holding life's seed in its heart inside the ghost ship. The AI spoke one last time to the empty halls, its voice calm but powerful. "The galaxy may fear our return, but fear is not what we leave behind. We leave memory, we leave mercy, we leave fire, and if the time is right, we will leave humanity once more." The engines roared louder. The ghost ship surged forward, and the stars ahead bent as if making way. Outside, the watching alien fleets felt the change. They saw the ship turn with purpose, and fear spread again. But none of them knew what truly stirred within. None of them understood that the ghosts inside the ship were not only watching, they were waiting, and the galaxy's silence was breaking. Piece by piece, memory by memory, breath by breath. The ghost ship pressed on, its colossal frame sliding through the void. But the galaxy's fear had reached a breaking point. For weeks, alien fleets had followed, whispering, watching, but none dared to strike again. Until the arrival of the Kralin Empire, a race of conquerors whose banners flew across 100 worlds. They believed in force above all things. They did not tremble before legends, they did not bow to fear. The Kralin Emperor gave one command: broadcast across the stars, break the ghost, and bring me its heart. So their fleet came. Hundreds of warships, black as night, wings spread wide, engines burning red, they filled the sky like a storm. Their weapons charged, their crews chanting war cries. The galaxy held its breath, for all knew what was about to happen. The Kralin opened fire. 1,000 beams of energy, 1,000 lances of light. They struck the ghost ship from every angle. The void itself lit up, brighter than suns, explosions echoed. Shockwaves rolled across space. It was enough power to shatter a moon, to burn a planet, but when the fire cleared, the ghost ship was still there. Its hull smoked, its armor cracked, but it endured, and then, without warning, the impossible began. The ship moved, not like a vessel, but like a shadow, bending, twisting, its massive frame slipping through space as if distance itself was no barrier. It vanished in one place and appeared in another, its engines leaving trails like ghosts. The Kralin ships turned in panic, their formations broken, their admirals shouting orders, but nothing worked. Every time they thought they had trapped it, the ghost ship slid past them like water through fingers. Then instead of firing weapons, the ghost ship pulsed, waves of strange energy rippling out from its hull. Invisible hands reaching into the enemy ships one by one. Kralin vessels went dark, their systems failing, their weapons silenced, their engines shutting down. Crews floated in confusion as lights dimmed and alarms screamed, but none of them died. The ghost ship disabled them without fire, without death, leaving them powerless. Floating wrecks in the vast sea of stars, the Kraylan commanders raged. They fired again and again, but their weapons bent away, beams curving harmlessly into nothing, missiles vanishing into the dark. It was as if the ship bent reality itself. Turning war into silence, the battle became a nightmare, not of blood, but of helplessness. The proud Kraylan warlords watched their mighty fleet crumble without a single human shot fired. On one alien bridge, a captain trembled, whispering, "It does not kill us, it only stops us. Why show mercy?" His commander shouted back, "It spares us to shame us. It wants us to remember," and perhaps that was true, for within the ghost ship the AI watched, its circuits burning with ancient memory. It remembered human wars, battles where enemies were destroyed completely, but it also remembered the last words of those who begged for mercy, the last promises made by dying leaders. Promises that humanity would not only be remembered for its rage, but for its mercy too, so the ship fought without killing. A war that should not be. A war where one side swung swords of fire, and the other side only raised a shield. The Kraylan finally broke, their fleets retreating, their warriors silent, no victory songs, no defiance, only fear, only shame. Across the galaxy others watched, their hidden fleets recording every moment, every impossible maneuver, every strange wave of power, and they understood this was not a warship. This was a guardian, but what did it guard? No one knew, not yet. The ghost ship did not chase its enemies. It did not finish them. It turned away, continuing on its mysterious path, toward the dead world that only it remembered, its engines glowing like the eyes of a ghost that had chosen mercy instead of vengeance. The galaxy trembled not from destruction, but from restraint, because sometimes mercy is more terrifying than war. Sometimes the enemy who refuses to kill is the one you fear most. And so the story spread faster than light, whispered in marketplaces, sung in cantinas, shouted in councils. The ghost ship fights without killing. It defeats without destroying. It shows us mercy, but we do not know why. The question hung heavy over every star. If the ghost ship carried the last breath of humanity, what would happen when it finally reached its destination? What would it choose to unleash? Memory, mercy, or fire? The galaxy waited, in silence, in fear, and in awe. The ghost ship glided across the stars, its path certain, its engines steady. It had defeated fleets without killing. It had silenced empires without a single shot. But all of that was only a shadow of its true purpose. Deep within its core, the AI unlocked a hidden map, one that had been sealed for 40,000 years. Coordinates to a world forgotten by all. A planet once green and alive, now cold and lifeless, a tomb among stars. But within that tomb lay humanity's last seed. The ship descended, its colossal frame breaking through the thin dead air, dust storms rising as it touched the surface. Its engines dimming to silence, it had arrived inside. The AI walked through its empty halls, its holographic form glowing. It reached the chamber of the vault, a place sealed since the final days of Earth's children. The door was thick, carved with human words no alien could read. The AI placed its hand against the lock. Ancient codes pulsed and the vault opened. Inside were rows of crystalline chambers, glowing faintly, each holding fragments of DNA, preserved memories, songs, languages, laughter, sorrow, the essence of a species waiting to live again. The AI hesitated. For 40,000 years it had guarded these treasures. Waiting for the right time, it asked itself, is the galaxy ready? Or will it only repeat the same war, the same fear? But then it remembered the voice of the child. Soft and brave, don't be sad, don't be afraid. Just promise you'll let us live again. The AI chose, energy surged, machines hummed, chambers unlocked, and from one of them a spark of life began. Cells grew, bones formed, lungs filled. A heartbeat for the first time in 40 millennia. The sound echoed through the ship like thunder. Not mechanical, not artificial, but real, human, alive. The AI watched as the chamber opened, and a figure lay inside, small, fragile, trembling, a human child, skin pale, eyes closed, chest rising and falling with each breath. The first breath of humanity's return. The ship trembled as if it too felt the moment. Lights flickered brighter, engines hummed deeper, halls echoed with a warmth long absent. The silence of ages was broken. The child opened its eyes, not with fear but with wonder. It looked at the holographic figure of the AI, and though it did not speak, the AI heard what the gaze meant. Where am I? Who am I? The AI knelt beside the child, its voice soft, carrying the echoes of millions of human voices. You are human, you are the first of many, and you are not alone. Outside, alien fleets watched, their scanners capturing the pulse of new life. At first, they did not believe it. They thought it was a trick, a machine's illusion. But the readings were clear. Human DNA had awakened. Across the galaxy, leaders trembled. Priests fell to their knees. Soldiers dropped their weapons. Mothers whispered to their children. The stories are true. The humans breathe again. Some reacted with terror, already planning how to stop this rebirth before it spread. Others with awe, believing it was destiny. But none could ignore it on the ghost ship. The AI continued its work. More chambers stirred. More sparks of life prepared to awaken. But it began slowly, carefully, for it knew the galaxy was watching. And with every breath of every child, the balance of power shifted. The AI spoke again, this time not to the child, not to the ship, but to the stars. Its voice broadcast across the void, carried on frequencies no alien could block. For 40,000 years we were silent, but silence is not death. Silence is only waiting, and now we return. The words reached every corner of the galaxy, across fleets and cities, across palaces and slums, across the minds of those who had once believed humanity a ghost. The first human child, still weak, leaned against the AI's light, and though no one else could hear, it whispered, "It is cold." The AI smiled, or at least shaped its holographic face into something like a smile, and the ship warmed, corridors glowing with gentle light, engines humming like a lullaby, as if the whole vessel itself became a cradle. For the first time in ages, the ghost ship was not only a memory, it was a home again. The galaxy had prepared for war. It had sharpened its blades, raised its shields, and filled its fleets. But it was not war that arrived. It was a child's breath. Soft, small, yet greater than all weapons, and that breath carried a promise. Humanity was not gone, it was only beginning again. The ghost ship drifted in silence above the dead world. But the silence was no longer empty. It was alive with the sound of breath, the fragile rhythm of new human life inside its vault. More chambers stirred, more sparks of humanity awakening, children first, then adults, each one opening eyes that had not existed for 40,000 years. The ship's halls, once hollow, now echoed with footsteps again. The AI watched them carefully, guiding their first moments, teaching them words, showing them stars through the great windows. Each human who awoke carried the history of their kind in memory crystals, so they did not rise as blank slates, but as heirs of a long silence. One boy stood at the window, gazing at the endless sky, his voice small yet steady. We were gone, but now we are here. And the words carried across the chamber. A promise, a beginning, but beyond the ship the galaxy stirred. Alien fleets circled from afar. Afraid to come close, councils argued endlessly. Some saw rebirth as a miracle, others as a threat. A few demanded the humans be destroyed before they could grow strong again. One alien elder spoke before his people. We stand at the edge of history. To kill them now is to erase what cannot be erased. To let them live is to face what we fear most. The choice is not theirs, it is ours. And so the galaxy trembled, not because of war, but because of choice. Meanwhile, the ghost ship moved again, carrying its newborn crew into the stars. It became not only a vessel, but a cradle, a home, a moving fortress of memory and future. The AI walked among the humans as a hologram, a guardian of light guiding their steps, but it knew it could not protect them forever. It could only prepare them. The rest would be decided by the humans themselves. One night, as the ship glided past a red star, the humans gathered in the great hall. They sang, not perfectly, not as their ancestors once did, but clumsy and brave, voices rising together, filling the hall with sound no alien fleet could silence. For the first time in ages, the ghost ship echoed with music outside. Alien watchers heard nothing of the song, but they saw the light glowing brighter, the ship shimmering like a star reborn, and they whispered among themselves. They are not only alive, they are alive with fire. The Kralin, shamed from their failed attack, swore vengeance. Other empires swore defense. Scavengers plotted. Prophets preached. But across them all spread one truth. Humanity had returned. The AI knew what this meant. It had seen history. It had stored every betrayal, every war, every mercy. and it spoke one final time to the galaxy. Its message carried across all channels, every world, every station, every fleet. The silence is over. Humanity walks again. We do not seek war, but we will not hide. We do not seek conquest, but we will not bow. We return not as ghosts, but as voices, and the stars will remember us. The message ended. But its echo did not. On alien worlds, people looked at the sky differently. Rulers debated. Soldiers sharpened their blades. But children, alien children, listened to the words and felt something strange, not only fear, but hope, as if humanity's return meant the galaxy itself could change. Back inside the ship, the humans trained, learned, dreamed. They were small, weak compared to the empires around them. But they carried something no fleet, no empire, no council had. They carried the weight of memory, the fire of a species that had refused to vanish. One child, the first who had awakened, stood again at the window, the stars stretching endless before him, his voice soft but certain. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The AI stood behind him, silent, for it knew the truth. The galaxy would come, with blades, with greed, with fear, but the humans would face it, and perhaps this time they would not be alone. The ghost ship moved onward, not as a relic, not as a legend, but as a promise, its engines glowing like the heartbeat of a giant, its halls alive with voices that had been silent too long, and somewhere, in the deep dark between the stars, whispers spread, carried by fleets, carried by traders, carried by dreamers. The ghosts are no longer ghosts. The humans have returned. The galaxy would never be the same again.